Hello everyone, joining us this evening or this afternoon in Australia. Okay, the product I'm going to talk about is Plasmaflo, which is pretty cool. I think I have a particularly great relationship with all the Cerule products. They're certainly all in my life, and have a particular affinity and love of using the Plasmaflo product for circulation support. So one of the really kind of key things to understand about our microcirculation is that it's like really, 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 really small. Like it's micro small. You know, when you take a drop of blood and look at it under a hemaview blood microscope, there are just thousands of red blood cells in that drop of blood. And so when we come to looking at our microcirculation, and my cursor will come along here, we're looking at this area between the capillaries and the venules. So the capillaries are part of all the blood flow going out to our body, and then as a transfer happens, and you'll see in the notes here, these transfers are like oxygen leaving the red blood cells and then coming into the venules, collecting the carbon dioxide, the same with nutrients and the waste. These blood vessels are tiny. They are the size of one red blood cell. And you might know that red blood cells are concave, and they're actually like that so that they can squeeze over. And when they're coming through the microcirculation, we have this one red blood cell squeezed over, we have the blood vessel walls here, and this is the point where our body at a micro level breathes. We breathe at a macro level, breathe in the oxygen, breathe out the carbon dioxide, and then we're breathing again within the circulation. And that red blood cell is right there. And here are all the cells of the body. We're right down at the cellular level. And you'll see on the slide there, it says no cell in the body is further than 2 cells from a capillary. So if we're looking where the cursor is in here, we can see the little red blood cells, and then the cells are here. So those are the cells that are releasing compounds, and we're talking about stem cells. They're releasing compounds saying, hey, I'm a cell and I'm damaged. I need to attract stem cells to become more types of cells like me because I'm out of here. Or the cell lines are coming to the end of their ability to sort of replicate, and they release the compounds as well. And so this is the point. I get a bit nerdy excited about this. This is the point where our stem cells migrate from the blood vessels. So we know that with the STEM enhanced product, that when we take 2 capsules within 45 minutes, we have a 25% increase in stem cell migration. So they're going into the blood vessels, but they're not just kind of randomly moving out. They're moving out at this intersection point between the capillary and the venules. And when you think about the capillaries bringing the blood flow out to the body, it's got a push behind it because all the outgoing blood flow has musculature on it and it has a push, whereas the venules, the blood, once it's gone through to the blue point, is just a return mechanism that doesn't have any push on it. So as the blood comes through that microcirculation into the venules, there's a pooling effect. So a bit like how a river might come into a gulf of water, there's a pooling effect, and it slows everything down enough so that the stem cell can interface with the chemistry that those cells are releasing. And it's like, oh, this is where I need to be. It hooks onto the blood vessel wall, and then it migrates through and comes into these cells. And then those cells, over the next so many hours, communicate with the stem cell, and it's like, oh, I need to become a muscle cell, this type of brain cell, this type of nerve cell, etc. And that is where it's all happening. So it's really important that our microcirculation is open, and it's absolutely essential to the health of our body. You know, when people kind of go, well, they say to me, oh, look, gosh, you look really healthy, Linda. And I've got a glow in my skin. And partly why my skin is glowing is because my microcirculation is open out to the edge of my skin. But most important, because I support my body with the resources of Cerule, with microcirculation support, that microcirculation support is going all the way to the top of my brain. It's coming out all to the periphery of my hands and my feet. And that's something, particularly for those of you who've met me, I'm 6 foot tall. So I reckon my blood's got to get a lot further. So we want to make sure everything's getting supported. And so when the first circulation enhancer came out to work in with the stem cell enhancing products, I was doing a lot of work as a naturopath and doing blood work with people, and you're always looking for this fibrin. So you can see in the red blood cells in the picture here, they're kind of all caught up, and that's fibrin. And fibrin is one of the main things that inhibit our microcirculation. So it reduces the optimal flow of our blood, and and it can really kind of clog things up. And it's one of the main reasons why people will get cold hands, feet, nose, and ears, because the circulation can't flow. Because you remember I said that those little micro vessels are only 1 red blood cell thick, and we get these fibrin clusters that can be 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 red blood cells thick. So, the plasma and things can kind of move through. It's not like a blood clot, but it's a micro form of this gunking up happening. And it generally happens, like when you break it down, because of oxidants and inflammation in the blood. It's like everything comes down to inflammation. And when we're talking about the circulation, the inflammatory compounds and the oxidant compounds, because you've got to remember, we talk about inflammation and that, but it's actually little chemical messenger cells. And they actually sort of tap on these fibrinogen compounds that are dissolved in the blood, and they pull out little bits of it, and it clusters up. So the great thing about plasma flow is that alongside these like herbals and nutraceuticals that are mentioned in the ingredients there, it also has a strong amount of enzymes, and the enzymes are there to break down this fibrin. Okay, and then the other products are in there, the other ingredients are in there to work as antioxidants and anti-inflammatories within the blood flow to prevent that fibrin coming out. And we have great things like ginkgo and gotu kola, which have a lot of research around actually strengthening the blood vessels. So I found for myself that this is like 4 products in one, and work. I mean, I just find it really, really effective. So you'll probably know that on the bottle it says to take 2 capsules daily, 30 minutes before you eat or 2 hours after you eat a meal. And that's because those enzymes can get used up a bit in the digestion of your food. It has actually been studied. And if you do, let's say, take your capsules with your breakfast, they estimate that the efficacy of the product just drops off about 12%. And that's just some of the enzymes getting used up in the digestion of your food. The rest of it's all going through into the blood flow. And the scientists developed this product, really work hand in hand with Stem Enhance, and it's designed for an adult to take 2 capsules at a time, so that when you take the 2 capsules, you're having that amount of resources going out into your circulation to clear the way. And it's pretty cool. They reckon that once you ingest the product, it's clearing the way in your microcirculation within about 45 minutes, which is the same time as it generally takes for the peak amount of stem cells to start being released when you take your Stem Enhance. So I know there's lots of us on here that when we get up in the morning, first thing we do is we take our Stem Enhance with a couple of Plasmaflo, potter around for 30 minutes, and then have our breakfast. So the other thing that I've often asked about is the amount to take, and what I've observed over the years. And what I've observed is that really most people do just fine on 2 capsules a day. And but if somebody has like a lot of circulation issues, and they'll generally be moaning about their circulation, they'll be cold. If it's in the autumn, sometimes people start really fretting about winter because they've got to deal with the extra coldness in their extremity. They may even look a bit blue. And if somebody wanted to really invest more in their circulation support, sometimes I'll use 2 capsules twice a day, but most of us are all on just 2 capsules a day. I think it's a great product for using with people, and I get asked a lot, what do I use when? And we all know that I kind of love getting people started on Stem Enhance and the Collagen Active because they're just such great packs for change, etc. When I start including Plasmaflo in the beginning is when you're hearing people kind of complaining about their cold hands and feet, and they're invested in sort of spending money on this product as a resource. And so that's what I do in the beginning. And then often as people become like they just fall in love with their Stem Enhance and the Collagen Active, they might ask about the Plasmaflo, or I might kind of go, how you're just rocking on the Stem Enhance and Collagen Active. It is quite likely if you add some Plasmaflo in, you're going to actually increase your results, and you're also going to be supporting another very important part of your body and this flow of energy that comes with our blood flow. So that's sort of how I look at it in people's lives. And I've had lots of people who've perhaps just been taking a good amount of Stem Enhance, etc., and then they add in Plasmaflo, and they can feel that extra product coming in and opening things up. One thing I would say as a heads up is when people, it's great if people would take this product line as a preventative, but if people are going, gosh, I'm noticing all these things, but I really took the product for a joint, let's say their hands or their knee or down in their feet, and lots of other things are just improving as the resources get around their body, but it's like it's not getting into an area, then recommend that person add in some circulation support, because the area can get quite chronically inflamed and then affect the circulation in that area. So one of the scientists that works on the product had this great saying that when you take Stem Enhance, like you've got a train going through your body, which is your blood vessels. And when you take Stem Enhance, you put all Stem Enhance on the train. And then you want to make sure as the train goes through the body, the doors open. And if you want to invest insurance that the doors are opening in the right place, that's what Plasmaflo does.
Fantastic. That is brilliant. Thank you so much, Linda. Really, really good to hear. I love that.